The tiny wings fluttered, just as I'd imagined they would. I waved my hand over the prototype, and the thumb-sized rectangles of translucent plastic followed. And the closer I got to the surface, the more rapidly each plastic wing beat up and down. The sound was just like the now still hummingbirds inside my head. The real sculpture could be massive. I surveyed my garden from the low table in the pagoda. There wasn't much space left between the crisscrossing walks for another kinetic sculpture, and I didn't want to crowd the ones already there. Each piece interacted with the next one like one big Rube Goldberg machine. But I could line the smooth bamboo fence with this piece. As you walked by it, a ripple of hummingbird wings would follow you like thoughts chasing. "If it smells like chicken, you're doing it wrong." Lena's voice brought my thoughts back down to earth. Through the open door, I could see Lena and my cousin Aiden in my workshop. His head was bent over a circuit board on my workbench. "Don't make me laugh or you will smell chicken," Aiden said. He steadied the soldering iron in his right hand and, with his left, carefully fed a small bit of the soldering wire into the joint between the component and track on the board. He touched it with the tip of the iron to join the two. At least, that's what was supposed to happen. Lena peered over his shoulder and then mimed strangling him behind his back. The boy could crack code and schmooze people with the best of them, but his DIY skills needed some serious work. He was a breaker, not a maker, at heart. I tried to teach him to solder, but Lena was way more patient than me. She stroked her lip ring thoughtfully as she watched Aiden work. She glanced up and caught me looking at her. I blushed, but she just smiled. I was such a newbie at this romance thing. "The joint is supposed to look like a tiny little volcano," Lena said calmly, turning her attention back to Aiden. Apparently it did not. Aiden tossed the board onto the table. I could see a blob of flux on the PCB from here. "We could use solderless breadboard or printed circuits," Aiden protested. He had a point. A breadboard or printed circuit might have been easier, but these units needed to be sturdy. The little white boxes might go anywhere, outside, in attics, wherever. Lena stole a glance at me over her delightfully nerdy black glasses and then sighed dramatically. "You wanted to help." They were building routers for our new network. We'd moved up a level of defunct old-school tech, from radios to ad hoc Wi-Fi networks. Very 2012. Aiden had hacked together some rather genius code to make the software work, and now he wanted to learn more of the hardware side. Lena and I could make the nodes much faster alone, but you can't learn if you don't do. The MemeNet and Lena, with all her little projects, had taken over my workshop. She rifled through the other crap on the workbench until she found what she was looking for. "Time to learn desoldering," Lena said with a certain amount of earnest glee as she brandished a copper desoldering braid at Aiden. She winked at me. Lena had kind of taken over my heart the same way she'd taken over my workshop. We met in the park, over an old 64-bit game console. We'd both reached for it at Sun Yu's stall, and I found myself looking up at that lip ring of hers. She is several inches taller than me. I let her have the PlayStation, and she traded Yu an oscilloscope for it. Lena and Big Steven were bartering what they'd salvaged from their workshop in the Rocket Garden. That's what they called the old Transportation Museum scrapyard. It was full of rocket parts and other museum cast-offs. They'd narrowly escaped getting picked up at the rave themselves. Steven figured they'd better move their gear out of the old junkyard in case someone talked. Lena's hair had been pink and long that day. You could see the dirty blonde streaks underneath the phosphorescent color. Now her hair was short and dark, which made her steel blue eyes sparkle through behind her glasses. And the lip ring? Well, it was hot. That day, I traded her an old payphone.